Should I ask? No, let's just let it go. Okay, so hopefully I've sold you now, at least to a degree, or gotten you to consider the benefits of running transition drills. Hopefully I've sold you now on the benefits of how to make every drill different every day and accomplish a different thing. Does that make sense? Let me give you another example. You know, ground ball drills. If you're using crossover, right, or you're using huddle, or you've got somebody, you know, analyzing, you look where the ground balls are. One of the things that's blown me away, 35 years of coaching, there's an inordinate amount of ground balls that go out of the box. The box is like a magnet for balls going out of bounds. I don't know why, right? The other thing is there's a heck of a lot of ground balls that go down behind the cage and in the alley. How many of you are practicing your ground ball drills specifically in the alley? Right? And that kind of leads me to my next comment here. So, if I want to be proficient in transition, okay, and I want to make my practices fun and upbeat, you know, Dave Petramala, I mean, Bill Tierney, you see these guys on TVs. I've been blessed to stand on their bench or behind the table at their games because I've gotten to know these guys from the website, right? You don't want to do that with women or children. But even these guys that you see on the sidelines, and they're such screaming tyrants on the sidelines, when you talk to them about practice, man, they're talking about how do I make it fun for my kids. Even Richie Meade, the most conservative, you know, leadership guy or coach that I've ever interviewed, talks about if the kids have fun, they're more likely to learn. You know, and they don't have fun by running 6v6 until you turn the headlights on. To Don's point was so great. They don't learn by running. I used to do that all the time. We're going to do fast breaks until we score 5 in a row. Next thing you know, the headlights are on, the buckets are broken. Hey, another coaching tip. You get angry. I don't yell at kids. Okay, I try to never yell at kids. And we tell our kids, we're never going to yell at you for dropping or throwing a bad pass or shooting a bad shot. Johnny didn't drop the ball on purpose, right? But man, if you're not in the right place on a right and clear, or you're not hustling down the field, you're going to bear the wrath of 230 pounds of Muetzel right here, baby. Okay. Anyway, so if I understand that I want to be in transition, my next question is, how do I get into transition out of a 6v6? If I understand that transition is the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, how do I manufacture transition? Does that make sense? So we drill it. This is one of my favorite drills of all time. I got this from Dave Cottle, and then we kind of added a twist to it. And I'm trying not to be negative. I just want to help. There's not that many 3-man ground ball scenarios in a game. You know, you either get a hurt or you get 1 or 2. You know, but yet so many coaches are still practicing man ball, right? And you roll the ball out, and you know, Johnny knocks Billy on his keister, and Joey picks it up, and then Billy gets up and wails on Johnny. Next thing you know, the ball's 50 yards away, and then it's in the parking lot, right? And one guy picks it up, starts to run, and they're wailing. And God forbid a guy actually does pick it up, right? He runs all the way back. Now what does he do? Where's the ball go now?
Back to the coach.
He throws it to the coach. Because wherever you picked up that ground ball, there's generally a guy that's been standing still for 20 seconds that you run back and throw him the ball. Seriously? Can't we be better than that, right? So, and the other thing is, I mean, I'll be anxious to hear Landon's comments. I really don't think, and this may surprise the old timers, you know, I really don't think in another 3 or 4 years there's going to be much body contact left in lacrosse. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing, because I've been at the hospitals in cities that were 4-hour flights away with players in tournaments that were throwing up, talking to his parents back here in Atlanta about him having a concussion throwing up. I've coached kids that couldn't go to school in the fall because they got a concussion. And I mean, I don't know what the answer is, and I'm not going to suggest that I do. But we try and coach technique, fundamentals on picking up ground balls, and speed. But more importantly than all that, pass. You know, whether you use the terminology scoop pass, ground ball pass, If you go to a college practice in today's world, you will hear that line no less than 30 times during practice. So here's what we do. And I got this from Cottle, right? We're going to run this as a 1v1v1. 3 guys are going to compete for the ground ball, but they're going to compete individually. So if you're used to competing against 2 guys for a ground ball by yourself, and you get in a game and it's one-on-one, you know, hopefully we've got you trained for that. So the coach rolls out the ball. I've got a transition line here, transition line here. Coach rolls out the ball. Let's say this player picks up the ball. This guy's immediately breaking. This guy has already broke. Bing, 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 bing. Now we are immediately 40 yards down the field off the ground ball. And we do this, what, John, twice a week, 3 times a week? And you know, people think that, you know, well, I want to be a running gun coach like you, Mike. No, no, no. The drills have to teach kids to get the ball down the field, right? So, now, what happens to this guy and this guy? Well, they didn't get the ground ball, right? This is a land of opportunity, right, Mikey? We're going to give them another chance. How cool is that? So now I'm going to roll out another ball, and these 2 guys are competing, right? Let's say this guy gets the ball. Next guy in line, bing, 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 bing. We're moving the ball down the field. How about this last guy? Clearly, he needs a little work. So we're going to give him another opportunity, right? So now I'm going to roll out the 3rd ground ball. He's going to pick it up. As soon as they go here, they go to this line, they go to this line. Now, if you're coaching by yourself, how many guys coach by themselves a lot of days? Here's the trick, okay? I would run this like a ball return. I mean, typically I would run this drill from end line to end line, and then at the far cage I would have like maybe 1 defenseman and run it as a 1v1, 2 defensemen and attack them. So when he gets over their training line, now we're in a transition 2v2 in front or something like that to make it fun, right? But if you're coaching by yourself, raise your hands again. Repeat after me. I will. Pay attention.
Pay attention.
Because this can be cool. So what you're going to do now is, we're going to have this player run the ball all the way down the field and roll it to you, or run the ball, we put cones out here, and get a one-on-one outside shot from the goalie so that all the balls are back here. How clever is that? That's like my automatic pinball school of coaching. Anyway, let's see how it works. Again, this is the first time this team has ever seen this drill, and the film, because we were filming from the press box at Whitfield, is compressed. I mean, they're actually, you know, this is 50 yards. So again, 3 guys battling for the ground ball. No body contact. 1 guy picks it up. This guy's already breaks. This guy already breaks. He's going to run down. We got cones out here. He gets an outside shot. Immediately now, before he even starts to run, the next ball is out. The 2 guys that didn't get the ground ball continue to compete. This guy here should already be upfield. This guy here's got to be upfield. Like I said.
So that first one's all 3 guys compete for it, then it's 2.
Yeah, 1 against 1 against 1, D. Yeah, yeah. And we're, again, you know, when you're competing against 2, you know, you've got to, A, get your body in front, just like you referenced, and then B, when you get it, you got to get out of there, man. You know, you got to get out of there. Anyway, does this make sense as a way to manufacture transition out of my end into the next end? I don't know why our kids love this drill. I mean, to me, it's like doing burpees. You know, who likes burpees? I mean, nobody. Anyway, another way we manufacture transition is we take a scenario in a game that we want to emulate and manufacture a transition. So, I think the 3rd year I was coaching at Auburn, we had these 2 big attackmen come in. And each guy was 6'4" and 220. One was righty, one was lefty. And they were both incredible post-up shooters. Neither one of them could carry the ball 2 yards without dropping it. But on man up, they were incredible. I mean, real. I'm not being sarcastic. Really, really good, right? So about 3 or 4 weeks into the season, you know, the teams I coach. I mean, you've already seen this. I'm a wacko. I mean, don't do what I say. Just get some new ideas and make it your own. But the teams I coach, we always have Mondays with Mike. So after practice Monday, I'll stick around as long as you want. You line up. If you want to talk to me about playing time, you want to talk to me about your school schedule's out of hand, you're flunking a class, you need to take some time, whatever it is, that's when we do it. Not during a game, Not when I have something to do that day, I can plan my time. I mean, I want to be receptive if the kids want to talk. But man, if I got to get home because my wife's not going to be there to do something, and that's real life, you know.
Hey, Coach, can I get some mic time right now?
What?
Can I get some mic time? Got 10 minutes.
Yeah, we're good. Okay. So these two big bookends, right, that get me going, Coach, how do I get more playing time? How do I get more playing time? I said, you're big as an ox, but your feet are like concrete. If I was your size, I would expect to get 3 or 4 ground balls a game. So we devised a drill, and I've used this drill forever. If our attackmen get a ground ball behind the cage, what are the chances of us scoring?
Pretty good. Very good.
I mean, of all the places on the field to get a ground ball, unless it was right in front of the cage, if we can get an attackman with a defenseman behind him, initiating from behind, we ought to get a good look at it, right? You with me? So here's the drill. We're going to have 2 attackmen here. I'm going to roll the ball out. It's a one-on-one ground ball. I love one-on-one ground balls. One-on-one ground ball. The winner plays, the loser gets back in line. It needs a little more work. So now this is a ground ball drill where only the attackmen are going after the ground ball. And then when I was at Auburn, I had 4 attackmen that were relatively, maybe 4.5. You know, out of those 4.5 or 5, or whoever got the most ground balls out of our attack started the next game. I mean, I had one kid that was a stud, and then I had the rest of the guys were okay. But again, you know, this is a great message to your attackmen that when that ball goes on the ground, every time the ball goes down behind, we ought to be thinking goal, not just pick it up or ride. Okay? How many people think practicing rise and clear sucks? Oh, you liars. So what college coaches do is they integrate rise and clears into their transition drills. And, you know, Pressler runs a great 3-way 4v3, 4v3 coming down if they score, or they back it up, it's 4v3 slow break, and then the defense clears. If the defense gets the ball, it's immediately a clear. There's a lot of ways to end any transition drill with the clear. The advantage is that you're clearing the ball with one less player than you would in a game typically, right? Because you don't have that goalie as a man advantage. You with me? So if your team can become proficient in clearing the ball, when they get an extra guy on the field, it's like gravy. And it also, in that scenario, we're encouraging our poles to run with the ball a little bit more and working on stick handling. Anyway. This drill I got from Coach Schillinglaw at Delaware, and you can run it as a 4v3. There's a lot of ways you can run it. But basically, I'm going to yell clear. These 2 defensemen are going to banana cut out. Goalie's going to make a pass. We're going to work on our redirect, because working on redirect passes sucks even more than rides and clears, right? I mean, you redirect pass every day. It's so boring. So we're going to redirect the ball across the field. At the far end or at the midfield line, if you're running goal-wise, I've got 3 lines of shorties. We redirect the ball. Ball goes up to the sideline, into the middle line. Those 3 guys come charging down. The 2 defensemen that were doing the redirect passes and the banana cuts now have to find their way back inside to play 3v2. The other thing this drill is great for is, you know, these goals are way, way out, right? Out to the sidelines, the way we coach it. So they have to get back like there's no tomorrow. Does that make sense? And then it's a 3v2, just kind of balls to the wall coming back, you know. A lot of fun. Again, this is a college drill. This is a U15 team I had in a camp in Chicago, not a national travel team. The boys made reference to this earlier. Let me show you 2 more things. What we're seeing college coaches do more now in spades, when we talk to them and interview them on practices, is there's a lot of terminology for it, but it's very often called crunching the field. And I think it's probably an advent of the Canadian players and the box influence. I think it's probably a derivative of Jamie Monroe and the lever pass and that stuff coming in tight. I think it's probably a derivative of, if my kids can make 6-yard passes 60 miles an hour, we're all good. In this drill, we're going to run a 3v2 from behind. but I've got cones 10 yards in front of the cage. So they have to play, we're having our defense, I'm multitasking here. Defense comes out, gets in a ready position, then they have to retreat in front of GLE because we don't want them behind. Come on. That's crunch back to front. Here, I've got cones set up down the middle. And we've got cones there. So in a space about half the size of the stage, we're going to play 3v2, all left-handed, outside shoulder, right? All right-handed. And I toggle this drill. Bang, 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 bang. So you see how quickly the drill works, even with guys, and we've got 3 offensive lines here, 3 offensive lines there. I'll run these guys right for 4 minutes, and then I'll have them switch. So, you know, inherently, this is all left-hand stuff on this side. Inherently, that's mostly right-hand stuff there. But they call this technique crunching the field. And it's another great thing to throw into your transition toolbox. Coaches like Mercer, you know, some guys subscribe to a philosophy of tight, broad, all during practice. Tight drill, half field, full field, and Kyle Hannon does that. So he'll run drills like this and then go 70-yard or full field, come back to a tight drill. Give the kids all that. Coach Colfer from Cambrini loves to run this drill with the hash marks. Coach Ray Roston runs this drill with the circle, the girl circle on the floor. All right. We show one drill, we're done. Oh, incidentally, I put my name up here, my email. I messed up. I misread Doug's email. If you send me an email, mike@laxcoachmike.com, I'll send you a 4-page schematic of all these drills. I can't send you the film because you would die waiting. It takes too long to load. Come on. All right, last drill. This drill became popular with college coaches 2 years ago. Before that, I'd never heard it. Now everybody runs it. Most guys spell it out with a K, nitro, because it originally came from Army. Done. This one's made for you, man. So up here, I've got a 20-yard box, right? And that defensive drill you run all the time with the 2 guys inside and the guys just running around the outside of the box making a pass. The defense isn't really trying to take the ball away, right? You're going here, I got your back, communicating. Pass goes over here, this guy drops in, that guy goes out. So it's like keep away around a 20-yard box. And we're trying to encourage the kids to run to a cone before they throw and catch. So it's keep away in a box. You with me? At the far end of the field, I've got 1 attackman and 1 defenseman, right? So I'm going to let them play keep away, play keep away, play keep away. I'm going to yell, go! Then no matter who has the ball, no matter where they are, they go flying down, and it goes from a 3v2 into a 4v3 because I got an attackman and a pull downer. Kids love this drill. It gives you everything. It gives you tight stick handling. You can say that you got to roll in or out to get the catch on the box, the way you do on some of your drills. You've got transition, everything you need. Anyway, I don't want to run over. I will send you the drills. Again, at the end of the day, you know, all these coaches stood up here today and said, I robbed this, I robbed that, I robbed this. You know, there's no sport in the world where coaches share their information as openly as they do in lacrosse. And all you got to do is go to US Lacrosse or IMLC or anywhere to go, or even come here today. We're just a place that puts all that information together, nothing more, nothing less. So thank you very much, guys.